Yo, this is Deontay the Bronx Bummer Wild, the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. And I'd like to give a big shout out to CJ Goodfella of Sports TV. Bomb Squad, baby.
All right, we out here moving and shaking. All right, I seen the gloves are off, and I'll link that in the description for a video between AJ, Anthony Joshua, and Andy Ruiz too, and it'll be in the description on the source link. And to be honest, it was cool. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like the greatest gloves are off or greatest, face-to-face I seen, but you know, if AJ wasn't so much of a pussy, you almost want to root for him. You know, I say that. That was one of my biggest takeaways for that from the gloves are off. Like it's a guy that, he normal. He a guy that kind of articulate what he trying to say. You like, yeah, man, I can get behind this dude, but just some of the moves that he's made and the contradictions, and I believe, and I just got done watching Star Wars earlier, right? Disney Plus, shout out to Disney Plus, best thing going right now. And shout out to Verizon for giving it to us for free. But, I think AJ, like Anakin Skywalker and shit, man, he let Eddie Hearn and Barry Hearn, turn him to the pussy side, all right? They put so much business in his brain that instead of going with his natural instincts, he going against his natural instincts as a man, and whatever bones in him allow him to be a fighter, and he coming out like a punani, all right? But he ain't the only fighter out there that sound like a businessman. It's a lot of, Errol Spence, AJ type of fighters out there that let the business change them. But, Johnny Nelson asked him, questions, and, Anthony Joshua said that basically, I had to take the rematch because, I want what's mine's back, and at the end of the day, I'm a man. He said I couldn't really, I'm basically paraphrasing, live with myself without, taking the rematch. And basically the feel was that after the fight, it wasn't a feel. He said that he wasn't sure if he wanted to make the rematch happen again. All right. And all of a sudden, he like, oh yeah, I definitely want the rematch now. But the narrative was that Eddie Hearn and Barry Hearn pushed him for the rematch for financial reasons, and there was a cash out. And the cash out was basically that going to Saudi Arabia, and they marked up the pay-per-view by £5, and he got a lot of people saying, is he cashing out or not? And they want people to believe that AJ coming to win, and and stuff of that nature. But this gloves off is more about AJ for me. You know what I'm saying? And I'll get to Andy Ruiz in a second. But then, he kind of got into what he gonna do in the ring. And the sentiment was, or the narrative is, that AJ was basically gonna try to outbox Ruiz and run around the ring like he kind of did versus Joseph Parker and get a decision. That's what people believe he gonna do. That's why people think he's slimming down and he losing weight, and he wants to really get out there and box, for 12 rounds. And if it comes, it comes. But he dispelled that narrative. It don't mean he actually gonna tell Andy Ruiz's game plan. He said that Ruiz, contrary to what people saying, is a big puncher. He is a big puncher, and that he, basically he want to deliver an exciting fight, and he want to knock Andy Ruiz out, and that's the game plan. His game plan is not to run around for 12 rounds, and I like that. You know what I'm saying? He said basically he want to speak it into existence when he said he want to knock Andy Ruiz out, and that's something that Wilder said, and that's something I strongly believe in, is speaking things into existence. But I think one of the bigger takeaways, other than the quitting sentiment, was that he said he wanted to fight in Madison Square Garden. He said he was cool if the fight was in Cardiff, Wales. He said, Andy Ruiz said, well, I want to fight in Madison Square Garden. And then AJ said, well, I wanted to fight in Madison Square Garden or Cardiff, Wales. It didn't matter where it was at. They both seemed to be a little bit shocked that it landed in Saudi Arabia. But Andy Ruiz reportedly making $13 million, but I heard he get the Mexican TV money. So he could be cleaning up. So they said Mexican champions all fight on free TV in Mexico. So I heard they might do anywhere from 33 to 140, views. So he might be looking at another $5-10 million markup. So he could be bringing home good money as well. And that's one of the stipends they gave him to his contract to entice him to go to Saudi Arabia, especially with the commissions. I think they got a United States commission and stuff of that nature, and he gets some American food over there for himself, so, and some extra security guard for his team. So they both arrived over there. But you know, sometimes you don't know what to believe. You know, AJ said he was down for it to be in New York again, but I believe, and you know what, part of me believe AJ. Okay, they were saying that he was having a nervous breakdown in New York, and you know, he was having a hard time coming to the ring. He got beat up by Joey DeWecco. This time they say he got beat up by I'm about to say Antonio Tarver, but Andrew Tabiti. But at the end of the day, they didn't want to go back to New York. At least Eddie Hearn didn't want to go back, and we all know, like Anthony Joshua, another thing he said in there is like, basically, I'm one of the bosses. See, I listen to for different things when listening to you know, certain interviews. And one of the things he said is that I'm one of the bosses, but I'm not the boss. You know, I might be paraphrasing a bit there, but he said I'm not the boss. I'm one of the bosses. So that just let you know right there, Eddie Hearn and Barry Hearn, they got POA over him, power of attorney. So they can pretty much finesse and make him go either way they want him to go. But it sounded like he was down to kind of go back to Madison Square Garden and, you know, revive his career and get his comeuppance on Andy Ruiz. But you know, they in Saudi Arabia. It sounded like Saudi Arabia put the most money up. It sounded like a cash out to me. Obviously, AJ, I can see how people can like AJ if you don't really, if you just checking out the surface. You know what I'm saying? If you're just checking out the surface, and you might just scrape or scratch the surface. But if you go in depth and don't be superficial with AJ, you go in depth and you see all the skeletons in this closet. You know what I'm saying? AJ represents everything that's a new age fighter. Okay, everything's about that. And I'm saying he's not the only one. All these dudes move on a dollar, but before I get into what Andy Ruiz had to say for a minute, but all these dudes basically move on a new age dollar, but guess what? No, I'm not trying to be a financial predictor here, or tell you the financial forecast in boxing, but all the money coming back down. All these dudes, you know, people saying, well, Wilder did this and his pay-per-view did this, and you know, Earl Spence, Sean Porter numbers never came out, or Bob Arum told the Athletics he taking his fighters to Belfast and South Africa and to the Ukraine and wherever else, and the zone having money problems. Newsflash to everybody out here, man. I'm not pro PBC, I'm not pro DAZN, I'm not pro Top Rank, ESPN, Showtime, Fox. I'm pro boxing, all right? Newsflash, all of them having money problems. All of them. Al Haymon raised the status quo for fighters getting paid so high that everybody trying to compete with each other. Everybody trying to go meal for meal, rack for rack. You know what I'm saying? They trying to put fights on the same day. And nobody is really grasping the domination like they want to. Domination was HBO, 5 million to 10 million viewers every Saturday night. They not even doing half of that. That's how HBO was able to take a fighter with 10 million views or 5 million views on HBO, anywhere between that, take them and put them on pay-per-view and know at least 500, 700, a million, 1.5 million boxing fans was gonna pay for a $50 pay-per-view. That's how it was done. You know what I'm saying? That's how it was done. But with Andy Ruiz, and like I said, everybody got money problems. But with Andy Ruiz, you know, Johnny Nelson asked him, you know, basically, how the fame went to your head, and he said, yeah, I bought some cars and house for my kids and my wife and stuff that I always wanted, but I'm still 10 toes down. All right, he said, I'm still the same guy, I'm still humble, I'm still focused. And one of the reasons he moved his camp to Mexico, and I got some close ties to him too, a little bit. I'm not gonna say close, but one of the reasons he moved to Mexico is because Mike Coppinger, aka according to source, and Dan Rayfield, was chatting fake stuff about him, his camp. You know what I'm saying? And they was lying. And basically, you know, that banned all the media from the workouts unless it was a media open workout. And he been like in the hills or in the mountains in Mexico training. And another thing about it, he only expected to come in like 5 or 6, 7 pounds lighter, if that. So that's another thing about Andy Ruiz. People say, oh, he's slimming down. I got for a fact Andy Ruiz only lost like 6 pounds, and this was like 2-3 weeks ago I heard that. So he hasn't made a drastic, you know, change in weight. Contrary to what people saying about his weight, he ain't made a drastic change. So, you know, people saying, oh, he lost 10 pounds or he lost 20 pounds. Nah, I heard he lost about 6 pounds. Maybe come in 6, 7 pounds lighter. He may come more toned up and more, you know, more conditioned for this fight. But other than that, from what I heard, there's no real change in his personality other than him celebrating his birthday and buying things and, you know, buying the high-end cars like he said in there. But it's no real change. You know what I'm saying? And I believe him. You know, he's still a nice guy. Andy Ruiz is a babyface killer. No, he's one of those nice guys. You know what I'm saying? But you know, like Frank Lucas, he's saying, I don't say Frank Lewis, but some of those gangsters that be real nice, and you see them and they've not got too much guys to say nothing bad. They take their mama to church, and you know what I'm saying, and they smiling, and you know what I'm saying, but they might be the smallest out the bunch or the cutest little small dude out the bunch, but they the killers. You know what I'm saying? They run everything. And Andy Ruiz kind of one of those guys that he'll love you in. You like him, you know, he cool, but before you know it, he going upside your head. So, you know, what I got from Andy Ruiz, I mean, I don't see a lack of, you know, slippage in his mindset. You know what I'm saying? I think he honed in, he focused. And what I heard about him, he been going hard in the paint. It ain't like what Rocky IV, or was it 3, when he's about to go in versus old boy for the first time, Clubber Lang, and he was having celebrity workouts, and they was partying all day and all night and stuff of that nature. Man, he came in with a killer mentality. You know what I'm saying? You know, he need to come in with a killer mentality, and I think he will come in with a killer mentality. So I look forward to Andy and Joshua, but it's nothing really, you know, really stuck out to me that I didn't know about Andy. But I've been hearing things about Andy and things here, and I've been hearing that he like real serious. And like he said, he told AJ, I think you quit. You know what I'm saying? Would I like to see him be a little reckless like this? Like, I think you quit, you little bitch. You know what I'm saying? Little hoe, I think you quit. You know what I'm saying? You a punk. You quit. Yeah, of course you want to see that. Of course you want to feel that energy, but that's not Andy Ruiz's character. And if Andy Ruiz really came out and disrespected him like a Floyd Money Mayweather or a 90s Mike Tyson would have, then I would have been a little bit worried, like, okay, Andy a little bit out of character here. This ain't Andy. And maybe he overstepping his boundaries with AJ, but there's no need to really promote the fight. To be honest, there's no need to promote this fight because guess what? Saudi Arabia putting all the money up. The stadium is built, 15,000 seat stadium. They built it in time, and you shouldn't care if the DAZN get, you know, if the DAZN 100,000 people pay for a subscription this month, or 1 million people, or one person pay for a subscription this month. It shouldn't bother Andy Ruiz because he won't be staying on the DAZN unless they make a huge lucrative offer. And also a little bit of bonus coverage that I make it home. A little bit of bonus coverage I did. I also heard that if Andy Ruiz beat AJ, that they gonna do Wilder and Fury undisputed. Well, it may be for 3 belts because I heard Andy might drop the IBF belt, but they might do an undisputed fight. I don't know if they would pay Puev to step aside. They will have to pay Puev and Fury to step aside. But Fury assistant coach, and I just did a video before this one, so go check it out. Fury assistant coach revealed that they may Wilder and the Ruiz might do an undisputed clash. They have to pay some dudes off. The IBF got a mandatory by May 30th. And he might drop the IBF. They might fight for 3 belts. But I'm going to do a live on that probably tomorrow. I'm going to be no deal on, I'm going to be chill today. No deal on chill with the live stream. But other than that, you know, that's it, man. That's really it, man. But I think it was solid. It wasn't the best face-off or gloves-off they had. But, you know, it was solid. And, you know, if AJ wasn't so much corrupted by the Sith Lord Barry Hearns and Darth Eddie Hearns, I think AJ would be all right, dude. I think I can get behind AJ if they wasn't corrupting his mind. But guess what? If you making $75 million for this fight, or you grossing $20 million for the fight, you doing something right. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, he getting his money, You know what I'm saying? But hopefully they doing right by him. But it was straight, and I link the gloves are off. Link in the description or the source link. Don't forget we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out to the email if you got business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video requests. Keep sharing the videos. Want to make a donation? That link's in the description. Best way to donate is share the video. Other than that, one time for the one time. It's your boy CJ Goodfella, Goodfella Sports TV. We gone.